Hello guys, and welcome back to our channel. Today's video might be a little too strong to some, so please proceed with caution, as the snippets here may not be for the weak-hearted. But before you do, here's a huge ostrich. So, like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell before this big bird pecks at you. We all fear unforeseen circumstances, and accidents are the most horrendous of all. All collisions are equally awful, be it a motorbike or a car. But worst of it all is accidents that occur while dealing with heavy machinery. Managing and working with heavy equipment is way riskier than any other job, and in the event of an accident, chances of coming out alive are rare to none. Sometimes this may happen due to faulty equipments, and at other times due to the lack of safety practices. Whatever it may be, one must be educated enough about the machine before tackling it, in order to at least save their own life in unforeseen situations. Here's a compiled list of the 10 most terrifying heavy equipment accidents that were caught on camera. Let this be a reminder to all to exercise better safety practices. The security camera footage is a saddening and scary one, where a woman is crushed to death by a forklift. She appears to be a worker on site and was following the forklift while her colleagues were transporting a heavy piece of equipment. Unfortunately, the forklift loses balance because of the heavy weight. So this poor woman rushes to help her colleagues from falling off the toppling forklift. But the vehicle comes back to its landing position as the piece of equipment being transported falls to the ground. Apparently, she was holding onto the back of the forklift, and its abrupt landing pushes her below the heavy machine, where she is crushed to death. Although her colleagues rushed to help her out, it was unfortunately too late. Too scary, isn't it? Well, this footage doesn't seem to have caused much havoc. But needless to say, it was not a well-thought-out plan in the first place. A trailer is parked, and on it is loaded an excavator set for transport. The weather is snowy, and that must have caused the loaded machinery to topple over due to the slipping an extra load. Yep, it fell off the trailer. Thankfully, no other vehicles or people appeared to be present on the premises, reducing the impact and injuries. At least next time they'll think again before loading up on a snowy day. How much damage do you think would have been caused had there been people or other vehicles around? Let us know in the comments down below. Sometimes 2 is way better than 1, but was that the case here? Well, 2 heavy pieces of equipment are involved in this accident. In the footage, a crane is being used to lift heavy construction materials from a truck. The footage is shot with a phone, as the workers and safety officers, if involved, appear not to have made ample calculations before carrying out this task. The material must have been heavier than the crane, as the crane topples due to losing its balance and falls onto the truck. Yikes! Don't you think that they could have unloaded the materials from the truck one step at a time? Guess they wanted to finish their work in a hurry and rush back home. Here's a lesson for us all. No good comes from shortcuts. The worst part is, the whole process is taking place near a railway track. If there had been any train passing by at the time, it could have been quite a disaster. Are bulldozers really dangerous pieces of equipment? Here's another incident involving one, and sadly, it's not the last one in this video. On a snowy day, a bulldozer is loaded onto the back of a truck. In such cases, there's not much space available, and the heavy vehicle must be driven with extreme accuracy. Otherwise, it will lose its balance and fall off. Looks like the subjects in this video weren't aware of the fact, and the bulldozer topples off the truck. Thankfully, no people were around, although there are several residential buildings in the vicinity. That was a close call, don't you think? This was caught on a security camera 5 years ago, and the footage still shocks us. People from across the world had come together for pilgrimage in the holy city of Mecca. As some construction for renovation was going on, there were tall cranes set up around the holy site. Seems pretty routine and mundane, right? Sadly, the setup was not carried out properly, and some of the cranes collapsed. This disastrous human error resulted in the loss of human lives and injured several people. However, the government took the right action, and those found guilty were rightfully charged. Does carelessness have consequences? If you take this incident as evidence, absolutely. Speaking of accidents involving cranes, here's another one. CCTV footage shows cranes that were incorrectly constructed collapsing onto the nearby buildings. This unfortunate accident took place in a small city in the south of Holland in 2015. The cranes were set up to make some repairs to the bridge. As a result, many buildings were torn down and left quite a large number of injuries. People can be seen running for their lives. Luckily, no lives were lost in the incident. Before we head on to the top 4 terrifying accidents, here's a super simple, non-hazardous task for you. scroll down below and hit the like button. Also subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Now on to our top 4. Cranes and excavators seem to be the recurring theme here, right? So how terrifying is an accident that involves both? In a construction site, excavation is taking place and apparently more earth has to be dug out. As the heavy machine is lowered with the crane into the already dug excavation area, the weight of the machine causes the crane to topple off and fall into the pit. Well, so much more for digging today. The excavator and crane are both crushed. Although people are actually standing close by, fortunately there wasn't much cost damage. This one was undoubtedly caused due to bad weight calculations. Looks like a little bit of math and physics are crucial in the construction industry after all. Bridges, if not well constructed, are extremely dangerous as they may collapse anytime. In other instances, a bridge may just be meant for a little bit of load. In this terrifying incident, a huge bulldozer is seen being driven across the bridge, but apparently it was not built to sustain heavy loads. A bulldozer weighs several tons. What is even more shocking is the fact that none of the people are wearing any safety gear. The workers had laid down huge tree trunks in the hopes that this would allow the dozer a safe passing across the bridge. But all in vain. The sheer weight of the massive vehicle caused the bridge to collapse, bringing down the bulldozer into the canal below. People have to think wisely before they act. Yet again, the statement that shortcuts don't do any good proves to be true. Humans have been involved in construction for a long time now. So you wouldn't think anything could possibly go wrong, right? Well, think again. Caught red-handed on camera is an excavator parked alongside a dig site. But there doesn't seem to be much space for it, as one side of the wheels is right on the edge. Does the excavator slip and fall? Nope. As a matter of fact, the earth below gives away, unable to handle the load of the heavy machinery. The driver tries hard to grab onto the ground using the digger arm, but the excavator finally gives in and falls into the pit. Because of his quick thinking, apart from a few scratches, the driver wasn't injured much. But don't you think it was an accident that could have been avoided in the first place? We're all familiar with what ferries are, right? It's a massive boat that transports both people and vehicles from one side of a water bank to the other. They even have to follow some safety procedures, such as providing safety jackets, allowing only the recommended number of vehicles or permissible mass onto the boat, and so forth. In this footage taken by people on another boat, apart from a concrete mixer, there are no vehicles on board, but the permissible mass must have exceeded the weight limit since after a short distance the ferry sways and sinks. The people on board, along with the heavy concrete mixer, dive deep into the sea. Thankfully, no lives were lost. Humans are bound to make mistakes, but some of the accidents above could have been avoided if they had followed the minimum safety protocols. And of course, some accidents are inevitable, but giving a little effort can go a long way. What do you think? Don't you feel that some disasters can be prevented if given some more care? Let us hope people learn from the mistakes shown in these videos. So tell us in the comments what do you think, and subscribe to our channel for more eye-opening videos. Until then, goodbye and stay safe.